Welcome to episode 1 of my new series, Let's Build. I started this series due to the size of the settlement we're working on, Sunshine Tidings. This build came about after I found a really great looking barn in the Commonwealth, and I installed the Conquest mod that lets me turn any area into a new settlement, and I built a really cool trader post. However, after I finished and started getting settlers to work the trading post, I quickly realized there was no navmesh, so the settlers couldn't move around. So that settlement was put on the back burner as I worked on others that actually functioned like I wanted them to. But now I want to go back to it, so I decided instead of trying to go into the creation kit and fixing all the nav mesh, that I would instead create a new series and do a full build. I'd show you from start to finish what I do, and hopefully you enjoy it. Now I chose Sunshine Tidings mainly because it's a medium-sized settlement, something that I can do in stages. Also, it's got this really great flat area, kind of perfect for making a large barn. Now initially, I thought I measured a 5.5 by 5. But after I got the barn mostly constructed, I realized that it was supposed to be a 4.5 by 5. The big difference is the way the vanilla game handles roof lines and certain wall heights. They don't always match with what you're given in the settlement items. And since I'm working off an existing design I already have, you'll see I have a lot of difficulty making everything kind of blend the way I was expecting it to. Now I know it's hard to tell because I've sped the video up, but I do use a fair number of mods, and I plan on releasing a mod video soon. For you guys out there that are Fallout purists and only use the vanilla crafting and settlement system, I salute you, because I couldn't do anything with the vanilla assets as they were given. And probably the biggest mod and the biggest change in my builds was Place Anywhere, or Place Everywhere for you Xbox users. Now I know there's the pillar glitch, there's the rug glitch, but there's still a lot of things that you cannot do without mods specifically like Place Anywhere. And you'll see later in the build video where I've used the Place Anywhere mod to rotate items off of just the Z axis. I can modify the Y and the X as well. And I take advantage of that. And that's actually a function that I've just learned, sadly. And I know it's been around since the mod I think was released. But I learned something new almost on every settlement build that I do. Now I wanted to have the higher roof line of the vanilla barns. I noticed the first floor wasn't quite tall enough, but 2 stories was too tall. So as you'll see, I put a half wall in and then put a second roof above that to give me a 1.5 floors essentially of height. And that's closer but not exact to the way the barn was that I originally built in. Now this area here went through a ton of changes because I couldn't make it exactly the way I wanted it. So you'll see that I've done it here, and then I go back, and you'll probably see 3 different versions of that upper roof. Now this is another great example of the Place Anywhere mod. Drop an item, sink it into the ground with a couple pushes of a button, and it works perfectly the way I wanted it to. Now I find I'm not the best structured builder. I tend to hop around. I will place a few walls, step away, go build another section of the building, then go back to the one I was just working on. And for me, that gives me a fresh set of eyes. And a lot of times, it's not even just the structure. Sometimes I add decorations, or even clutter around the buildings, the settlements, just to kind of change my eye and my perspective, give me a better overall picture of what I'm looking to do. And I don't know if you guys build the same way, but that's kind of the way I work. And you'll see that in the video. I hop all over the place. I'm on the ground floor, I'm on the top floor. I add new sections of the building here, and I change everything that I've just done. Now here I'm putting the doors in, but I don't want the settlers to be able to use them. They're really only going to be there for decorations. So using the console command, if you select that item and just type lock, that will add a low-level novice lock to those doors, and the settlers will not be able to open them. Also, after finishing the entire building, I realized I built it backwards, and the main entrance was facing the back of the settlement. So, thankfully I was able to select the entire building, rotate it around, and move it in place where I wanted it. Now here's the neat little thing about Place Anywhere. That's something I just learned. I had no idea that I could rotate objects off of the Z-axis. Just that little tweak right there has been awesome. Being able to put things not perfectly symmetrical is really going to change my builds a lot. Just a few more finishing touches and we'll almost wrap up the construction phase of the building. And hey, the good news is, this only took you around 8 minutes. It sadly took me almost 8 hours. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you soon.